We all love a list, and Minnesotans love to rank on a list. U.S. News and World Report has ranked Minnesota as the fifth best state in the United States in which to live. Coming in first would obviously be better, and the transplanted Minnesotan in me doesn't even want to look at who beat us. It's Utah. I mean, what? No shade to Utah. I really just want to join my fellow North Star State residents in a little bit of chest thumping. I'm Mary Schumann. I'm a realtor here in the Twin Cities. And if you're thinking about moving to the fifth best state in the United States, according to U.S. News, I'm actually surprised there isn't an uprising of Minnesotans protesting this ranking. I do have a free relocation guide down in the description box below my video. If you're wondering what it's like up here, you should hit the subscribe button because my channel is devoted to highlighting neighborhoods and suburbs, what it's like to live in Minnesota, and real estate market updates. So what inspired them to rank Minnesota so highly, but not nearly high enough? Their rankings are based on criteria like the economy, education, fiscal stability, healthcare, infrastructure, natural environment, and opportunity. I just want to give you a little bit of context about what these words mean to them, and then give you a little bit of information about what Minnesota is doing with these things right now, and why U.S. News may need to reevaluate their list in the future. The economy includes things like job growth, unemployment rate, and labor force participation, as well as the business environment. And Minnesota ranked 15th in the nation by this metric. I don't know when they did this ranking, but I just checked the unemployment rate here, and we are at 2.8%. This is June of 2023. So Minnesota is hiring. If you're looking for job opportunities, this is a great place to look. We are also the headquarters for 12 Fortune 500 companies, and I believe that's the highest number for a mid-sized city. We are lucky in that our economy is very diverse, and we are not tied to the fortunes of any one industry. Okay, education. We ranked 21st for education, and I am actually surprised by this ranking because Minnesota really prides itself on its educational system. This ranking takes into account K-12 and higher ed. For K-12, it measures state performance across the life cycle of a young person's education, which encompasses preschool enrollment, standardized test scores among 8th graders, high school graduation rates, and college readiness. The higher education portion of their ranking comprised metrics that reflect things like share of citizens in each state that hold college degrees, as well as college graduation rates, the cost of in-state tuition and fees, and the burden of debt that college graduates carry. Minnesota actually ranks number 2 behind Massachusetts when you look at the number of residents aged 22 to 54 that have a college degree. 54% of people in that age group have a degree per the Minnesota Office of Higher Ed. The state legislature here just passed a $2.2 billion funding bill in support of K-12 education in Minnesota, and a big component of this bill is a change in the way that education is funded. It now ties funding to inflation so that education funding stays somewhat more current. It will be interesting to see how these changes affect student outcomes and if it translates in the rankings later on. All right, fiscal stability. Again, a curious ranking at number 21 because we had a budget surplus of $17.5 billion. Rankings looked at the ability of a state to meet their short and long-term fiscal obligations. And I'm thinking that one thing that may have gotten us dinged was that there was a bonding bill that was up at super low interest rates about a year and a half ago. That did not pass. And that's long-term fiscal health. Healthcare, we ranked 15th for healthcare according to U.S. News. We are known for things like the Mayo Clinic and healthcare providers like that, but this looked at healthcare access, healthcare quality, and public health outcomes. We did rank very well on mental health. We have a low infant mortality rate, low obesity rate, low smoking rate, low mortality rate overall, and a low suicide rate. For infrastructure, we ranked number 1. This category takes into account metrics such as the state's use of renewable energy, the quality of its roads and bridges, and its residents' access to high-speed internet. The state of Minnesota is focused on renewable energy and providing high-speed internet access to everyone in the state. And the legislature just passed major investments in both, and the state has set a goal of establishing a standard to achieve 100% carbon-free electricity and 55% renewable electricity by 2040. They're adapting our power grid through transmission upgrades to enable greater reliability and renewable energy access and integration, and improving building codes and standards so that all new commercial and large multifamily buildings produce net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2036. We rank number 7 for natural environment, and this does not mean like the beauty of the natural environment. It's talking about air and water pollution, and overall, I guess this is not a bad ranking. Minnesota is trying to mitigate this. There are ongoing disputes regarding mining in northern Minnesota and what that does to water. And then finally, we rank number 9 for opportunity. Opportunity encompasses things like economic opportunity, affordability, and equality within the state. And this category focuses on gender and racial equity and access to education, the ability to achieve equal pay, and the ability to access adequate housing. When they look at these as a whole, we ended up at number 5 in the nation. I'll take it. Will you? If you have questions about anything related to living in or moving to Minnesota, please reach out. I love talking to people that meet me on YouTube. Thank you for watching.